for the old football club. Been a great night for us. So we're in Division 4, days and nights like this, Everton away and Arsenal at home. But we needed to, produce a big performance because we're playing a team, obviously a historic football club, and said all along, and a team that's expected to go really well this year, top 4 and higher. So we had to do a lot of things right tonight, and we did, and I think we got our rewards.
You gave Lise Musa his first league start. What was the thinking behind that?
He's been knocking on the door. We had to get him up to speed. A lot of work's been put in with the conditioners and Lise himself to get into a situation where he starts a game. You could see just after half time he was struggling, but that was enough for me. He'd done enough on his own debut, which was great. Popular boy with the players, as I said, you see by the reaction of the supporters what they've taken to him as well. And he's a young kid, and we've got players that are, making their way in this division. We're not buying 40, 50, 60 million pound players that are established internationals that have played all over Europe. We're buying players that want to get better, want to improve, and taking their first, early steps into the Premier League. Lee's had a situation at Bournemouth, and he was playing behind 2 really good players. Callum Wilson and Josh Keane. So he struggled to get in there, but we've hopefully found a home for himself, and it's just a start for Lise.
Chris, with your goal, is that something you'd seen vulnerability with Arsenal around the back there?
I think we just look at, obviously there's a lot of footage and whatever, and whether they mark zonally or go man to man, it's like anything else. You want to try and put it into an area with quality, and Norwood has that quality. So without giving too much away, it's something that clubs like us have well, I think all clubs have to really, but it's an opportunity of scoring a goal, and I think it always makes me laugh because you can play some unbelievable football to get into that position, and if you're slack and loose with the delivery and the organisation, it all fizzles out. So all's got good quality, and we've got some brave boys that want to stick their head on it. But an opportunity score for us, which we've taken, but I don't think it's, from my point of view, analysing the game. It wasn't just about one set piece. I thought, with the ball, we tried to play when we could, tried to break their press when we could, and played some decent football. Obviously got pushed back second half, which you would expect when they're chasing a game. And we'd be the same if we were playing a team that's just been promoted from League One into the Championship, and we were a top Championship side. We would expect to go and dominate a game. But I thought we limited some really good players to opportunity first half, a couple of bits second half. So I thought, we were happy in terms of the opportunities that we allowed the opposition to score.
Chris, after Liverpool and a couple of other games, was it important not to be one of those teams who are playing well but not getting the points type of thing, one of those newly promoted teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite difficult to, at times to talk about, because I want to win. I want my team to win. I want my players to win. I want them to win at everything, whether it's five-a-side, egg tennis, a race, whatever, a game of table tennis. I want players to have that in their attitude and their mindset. But you've always got to look after the performance as well, haven't it, to get yourself into that position to win games of football. I was delighted that last time out at home in terms of the performance, but quite critical that we didn't marry that up with a big result, and that's happened against Leicester, and it happened against Southampton. Performances have been pretty consistent, pretty good, but you're in it to gain points. However way you need to do that, and especially as a promoted club, every point in this division is precious, and that's a big 3 points for us, and it's a big result for us.
You've said before that sometimes you think that you believe in the players a little bit more than perhaps to believe in themselves. So how, in terms of sort of changing that, how big a result is that tonight?
Well, we'll only know. One thing that won't happen is they won't get carried away. You know that. They'll get brought back down to earth straight away, but they'll do that themselves. I won't need to say anything to them. And yeah, it's the you know, there is going to be apprehension amongst the players, and no matter, you know, if I got the best sports psychologist in the world to talk to them pre-season for a month, they're still stepping into that division not really knowing what it's all about. And apart from, well, Phil Jags, who's had a vast Premier League experience, nobody else has really had that, including the staff. But you know, we want to make a success of it. We don't need to make the numbers up. I've told you that all along, and every game we want to be competitive. So hopefully, you know, along the way, played Watford last week, 2 weeks ago. And we talked about that. You know, we played like a home side. So, you know, but let's get the results as well. So hopefully, you know, be competitive and see where it takes you. You know, I'm not for one for talking about blocks of games or points before this and points before that. But we're on our way and we're doing nicely. And as you know, I always want a little bit more from that group.
All good. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.